those who came and helped us. And there were a lot of them. But we will go there. I'll just say thank you to those who stepped up, stepped in, came to help, got a lot of our animals out. And don't leave pets behind the next go round, because you still do. I'll just say that.
No, that's the biggest key.
Katrina.
You have when there's a mandatory evacuation or you're choosing to evacuate, do not assume a thing that you're going to be back in 24, 48 hours. No, Jeff, it should be a law that you have to take the pets with you when you leave to evacuate, because we have no idea when they're going to return. And I promise not to tell stories, but about 20 years ago, but going into a boat in Gentilly and dogs on top of roofs days later and just covered in crap and probably going to have to be put down, and dogs that are in a cage on the ground that are dead because they drowned, just, crap you don't want to see and experience. And so I hope people learned a lesson. When you evacuate, you take your animal with you. And if, there's no room in the car, we can't do it, then don't have an animal. It's called responsible pet ownership. I don't know what to tell people.
Well, you said it well, and we'll just leave that alone because I don't have many good memories about it. But get involved. There's a lot of problems. The State Wildlife and Fisheries is like doing everything it can to kill every single animal that not really, but really, they have this reaction to every animal that appears to be a problem, which in our view isn't. We're cohabitating, we're coexisting. They want to kill it. So they're rolling out all these policies. All of them are bad. They don't want to rehabilitate coyotes or armadillos. And then the alligators that supposedly killed this young 12-year-old, they're going to scoop them up and kill them. It's like, what we want to do, we're reaching out to the 7 Native American tribes in Louisiana and asking them to share their wisdom of how they live with animals. We think they know a lot more than we do.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt. I know the 2 alligators. Capture those alligators and go put them in a swamp 50 miles away, somewhere else, away from population of humans. I don't know what to tell you. No, it's silly how we just react what's convenient. Make excuses. Oh, this is a dangerous animal, that type of stuff. No, gotta learn to live with them. Jeff, always a pleasure.
Back at you, brother.
HumaneLA.org. Go donate.
Ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 5 p.m.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
My Sittu, that's Arabic for grandmother, used to make the best football kibbe. You can experience kibbe just like my grandmother used to make, and so many other Middle Eastern favorites on the streetcar line. Lebanon's Cafe.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters and You'll never have to clean your gutters again, ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now. Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
South Shore residents that love good food are making the short trip across the lake to Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. North Shore folks have known about Gallagher's 527 for years. Now the South Shore has discovered this hidden gem. One of the metro area's best restaurants is less than 30 minutes away. Take the quick trip across the lake and experience Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. As good as it gets.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamar team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamar Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
Does Helm Paint have the best paint on the planet? Helm, yeah. We only sell Benjamin Moore, the world's finest paint. Because paint ain't paint. Let us steer you right. Helm Paint and Supply.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Wow. What a topic Mario Brothers and I were having during the break. He knows a young lady that's on OnlyFans, and because Mario's a good guy, he's like, I'm like, wait, how old is she? What is she doing on OnlyFans? Is she naked? Is she in a bikini? Is she? And Mario Brothers like, dude, she's got a 12-year-old son. And then we just shifted away from like OnlyFans to like, oh my God, that's tragic. I feel bad for the 12-year-old boy. That's all I'm concerned with now. OnlyFans, what a mess. What a mess. You can check him out on OnlyFans. He's on there every day. It's Ellis Hennigan joining us live on the program. What's up, Ellis?
Hey, Corey. How are you?
Do you have an OnlyFans account, Ellis?
No, I do not. And I want to be clear. I've never even looked at an OnlyFans account.
No, and I believe that. I'd like to say the same thing. I've landed on one by accident before. And
it could happen.
It was not. It can happen. It was nothing crazy, but I was just like, what is this nonsense? The world is absolutely crazy today in 2025. But Ellis, I don't want to be that, older person going, that rock and roll music, it's evil. I don't want to be that person.
I don't think you're that person.
Our parents, we become our parents, we laugh at the new music. Why are you wearing your pants in between the waist and the knees? Things like that. Now, some of them I have to question myself. Am I being fair and objective? And it is insane what these youngsters are doing? Or am I being my parents with that evil rock and roll that they told us about?
I hear you. With me, Corey, it doesn't come out on the music or the fashion. You know where it comes out most of all? On the work ethic. I have a feeling, and maybe it's a prejudice, maybe some of you younger listeners can correct me, but I do have a sense that people, in their 20s and maybe even their 30s have a very different attitude about work that basically adds up to, I don't want to do too much of it.
No, I think that's totally true. I don't know if resume, 2 weeks notice is in their vocabulary either. I had a buddy who ran a restaurant. I'm not kidding you, Ellis. And one of the guys texts him going, hey, man, not going to be able to make it in tomorrow. Got to go to my brother's party.
Yes, exactly. You would have at least had the decency to lie about that.
Right. Grandma's funeral. The dog died. Dog ate my homework, something.
Yeah, it's different. I will say, and you know what? Maybe they'll own the world, and we'll all be working for them, so they'll get the last laugh.
Yeah,
But that is
no.
how it looks to me.
Yeah, I'm sure that's how it's going to work. It's all cyclical. Ellis Hennigan's with us. Hey, Ellis, we got like the next 10 minutes all to ourselves. Quinn's going to join us in about 10 minutes till the top of the hour.
Oh, good, great.
Yep. I don't even know where to start without Quinn because I want to get his take on all this. So many great topics. I got like 10 or 20. Anything that just jumps out at you right now that you think sort of the hot topic, Ellis?
Well, listen, I think all this public health stuff, the departures at the CDC, the fact that so much of our culture and our government these days is going against what to me look like fact and science. And I don't want to get all academic on you so early in the program, Corey, but do you remember when we studied history, we learned about the Dark Ages, and there was this period in history where things were very tribal, and there was a lot of squabbling and war, and people believed that there were all these unknown forces that affected their lives. And then eventually we got this thing called the Renaissance, and science arrived, and logic, and even people who had belief systems. We tried to explain them in kind of rational terms, and we had great human advance in that period. I do fear that there's a powerful force in our culture right now, Corey, and this stuff at the CDC and the public health, I think, is a strong example of that, where we are rejecting not just certain policies, but the very foundation of logic and intelligence and calm reason, and the idea that facts ought to guide us, not our worst and most debased prejudices. I just see a lot out there. I don't know what to do to change it, but it has increasingly begun to worry me.
Sounds like you don't have a lot of confidence next month with JFK Jr.'s, RFK Jr.'s answer to autism. He's got the answer, and he's going to reveal it next month. You don't sound confident about that, Ellis.
I know. I really think that this is some serious business. Listen, we have learned, we've advanced in some ways as a people. We talk about all the ways of the problems we have, but there are some ways we as a race have advanced. We've learned to cure a lot of diseases, and we've learned what to do when some scary thing emerges. We have thankfully, some really intelligent, dedicated people who help us with that. And when I get sick, I go to the doctor.
Yeah.
I don't go to a witch doctor. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's pretty simple. It really is. Ellis Hennigan's with us. Quinn Hilyar's going to join us in a few minutes on the program. Hey, Ellis, down here in Louisiana, I mean, and honestly, I'm shocked just because it's Louisiana. I think, regulations are sketchy. I think the oil and gas and chemical industry basically run the Louisiana Department of Environmental Quality. They're in bed together. They dictate policy. We have 6 major rail lines that come into New Orleans, all these chemical plants, oil and gas plants. I'm shocked we haven't had more explosion fire type things like we've seen at this Smitty's Supply in Tangipahoa Parish. I don't know if DEQ and the EPA is being, honest with us when they say things like, we tested the air and, quote, no detectable levels of hazardous substances. The people around Roseland, where this plant blew up, can smell the oil, chemicals in the air. I don't know what I'm breathing. There's oil coating all kind of vegetation, and DEQ and the EPA. And Louisiana DEQ, I'm very skeptical of. Today's EPA, federally, I'm very skeptical of. They're just like telling folks how to clean it up with dish soap and don't ingest it, but you should be okay breathing it and touching it. And I'm just like, okay, they're not picking it up. It's just watering it down and putting it into the land and water and dissipating into the air. I don't think that's a solution. I know this isn't some major like Valdez or BP, but there's petroleum products all over Roseland and beyond. I don't know. Those folks seem, to me, they should be evacuated, and cleanup crews should be in there removing the oil product and not showing citizens how to clean up and have it go into the air, water, and land. I don't know. I'm kind of lost on this one.
Those pictures were horrific, and the thing went on for quite a few days.
Yeah.
Listen, I have the perspective of having lived through 9/11. Right. I mean, I live in New York, 6 blocks from Ground Zero, and we heard the same stuff at the time. It's not so bad. And we've just now spent the past couple of decades of people developing a whole set of some very, very serious illnesses that I think most of the medical experts now do concede came from breathing in the bad stuff. And listen, what can you tell people? Be careful. We do have to live with some risk in the world. I mean, in particularly somewhere like Louisiana, where a big part of our economy is dirty stuff.
Yep.
Which is why, honestly, it bothers me when we're doing things like chasing the new energy industry away. I'm not anti oil and gas. I mean, it's a big part of the history in the economy of Louisiana, and we'd be bad off without it. But I mean, we do need to be thinking about what's coming next. And if we are so prejudiced against these companies that are getting into new areas, we've got a really well-trained workforce. We've got a lot of technical know-how. We have just the kind of people who could make the wind industry and the solar industry and the other parts of some of this energy that's required to produce AI and other computing technologies. Man, we better be on the front end of that, or we're going to get left behind.
Oh no, we've been left behind for decades and decades on all kind of other stuff. One thing that bothers me too, and this has always been Louisiana, we either have the raw product naturally in our state, or we import it, and then we ship it out somewhere and they do the manufacturing somewhere else. And a prime example, I mean, we do a lot of the dirty work where we've got a plant that's going to make the chemicals for the car batteries, for electric vehicle batteries, but we're not making the batteries and we're not building the cars. It almost seems, I don't know how you leverage it. Maybe you have to get with other states, Ellis, that do the same type of stuff like Texas or New Jersey, California, and be like, hey guys, if we're going to do the dirty work and make these, cancer causing chemicals that are dangerous and to make the batteries, we're building the batteries and we're building the cars too. We're not just shipping out the dirty stuff to some place that's going to build the batteries.
Right. No, and we have the know-how, but no, you're right. Listen, I'll give you another analogy that's at the completely opposite side of our economy, music. I mean, we had the music, but we never had the recording.
No, it's nauseating.
Right? I mean, we never actually sold the music, for the last, certainly, I mean, there was some of it, I guess, in the 50s, in the early days. But we to this day are a, third-rate recording place.
Yep.
Where so much of the music comes from here.
No, it is. We're a third-rate recording place in places like Austin. And look at what Nashville's done. It's sickening. Right. It's sickening. Like, give credit to them, to Nashville, creating this industry. But no, I mean, modern music, like every genre, every major music genre, we either created it or we're a major influencer. We're the music city of the world in the modern era. And you're so right, Ellis. Third-rate recording studio. Something very wrong about that.
Better job. Who's done a better job? I think the food and restaurant industry has done a better job of that. We have, I believe we're really the font of a huge amount of American cooking. And yet, but thankfully, we really do have some pretty good restaurants. We've learned to exploit it a little bit in our tourist economy. Maybe that's a lesson for some of those other industries.
Yeah, no doubt. It's another edition of Hillier and Hennigan. That's Ellis Hennigan. When we come back, Quinn Hillier will be with us. Stick around.
Total maintenance keeps you cool.
Word is, one of the best restaurants in New Orleans isn't even in New Orleans. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. Cross the lake and taste what you're missing. Tuesday through Saturday, Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City. It's Corey Johnson on the neutral ground.
Roll call.
Arabi, Chalmette, Violet, Lafitte, New Orleans East, Slidell, Mandeville, Covington, Hammond, Homa, Thibodaux. We got you covered.
It's another edition of Hillier and Hennigan. Right-leaning Quinn Hillier joins us. How are you, Quinn?
Doing okay. How you doing, Corey?
Doing well, man. Same old stuff. You can check out Quinn online, QuinnHillier.com. Quinn spelled with one N. Hillier, Hillyer. Quinn, you know we got Ellis Hennigan with us. What you say, Ellis? Quinn's with us.
Oh, hey, Quinn.
Hey, Alice.
Hennigan.com to check out Ellis's goodies. You boys ready to jump into it?
Let's do it. Sure.
All right. I'm going to start with the Alaska trip. Quinn, wasn't this just a big win for Putin? And Putin got everything he wanted? And I don't know what the United States or Donald Trump accomplished in Alaska. What's your take?
I agree with every word you just said. And I think that the Biden administration fumbled but didn't completely blow the Ukrainian situation. I think Donald Trump and J.D. Vance are absolutely blowing it and frankly are acting unethically, and they are kowtowing to a ruthless, murderous dictator, and it makes me sick.
Wasn't that embarrassing in Alaska, Ellis?
It was. I mean, honest to God, I've been very reluctant to get to this position, but I'm not sure that Trump isn't really on Putin's side.
Oh,
I think he is.
Yeah. I mean, what was that quote today? One of the founding NATO members called Trump a Russian asset.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's a bold thing to say, but I gotta tell me what he has done that would point in the opposite direction.
Quinn, I look at that that White House press conference. Mr. President, what about this U.S. company? I think it was Flex Electronics. Their factory getting bombed. A U.S. company, their factory getting bombed in Ukraine by Russia and Putin. And Trump holds up a 8x11 glossy of Putin and himself. I mean, avoids the question, isn't worried about it, doesn't seem to care about that a U.S. factory got bombed in Ukraine, Quinn, and then the opposite, holds up this glossy photo that he's going to autograph and send back. I'm shocked that the media hasn't taken it to a whole other level. It's just mind-blowing. Trump gets a break.
Trump has been objectively pro-Putin since the minute he came down that infamous elevator and announced that he was running for president. He has, in almost every instance, done exactly or almost exactly what Putin would have wanted. And even when it looked like he was standing up against Russia, he was only standing up against rogue Russian-based militias that were not under Putin's direct control and that were frankly causing Putin some problems in Syria. And so Putin didn't really mind if Trump took them out. That was about 7 years ago or whatever. So other than that, yes, Trump has been pro-Putin, pro-Kremlin, and it's really disgusting.
Ellis,
Quinn,
yeah, go ahead, Ellis.
let me just jump in. The consequences of that are severe. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I really believe that Putin really has much broader ambitions. I think he wants to truly restore the old Soviet Union, overrunning a whole bunch of his neighbors and a big swath of Europe. And man, if you get in Ukraine, I really don't think he stops. I think it's the appetizer for the big feast to come.
Well, I think you're right. And here's the thing. Trump has shown that if Putin attacks somebody, he blames the person that's attacked for starting the war, which he has done like 24 times with regard to Ukraine.
Yep.
And so what's next? If he attacks Poland, is Trump going to get on Twitter at 2 a.m. and start blaming Poland for starting a war with somebody bigger than it? That's what he's done.
Or after he overruns half of Poland, saying, well, Putin gets that. Now we're going to discuss what happens with the other half. No, you go back to where it was at the beginning. Let's live with the borders as they were.
Exactly. In this day and age, conquest of foreign lands, especially by a ruthless anti-Western dictator and murderer, cannot be allowed to stand.
This situation with Putin and Zelensky with Trump reminds me of Charlottesville, where it's like, hey, they're good people on each side. He keeps trying to make it like it's a quid pro quo, like, hey, it takes two to fight a war. Like he's acting like Zelensky and Putin are the same, Quinn.
He does. In fact, he acts like Zelensky is worse than Putin. I mean, he has never in public, ever once, done anything to stand up to Putin. He has made a couple of tweets and random comments saying, "Oh well, I'm sort of disappointed in my pal Vladdy right now," but he's never actually stood up to him. Whereas again and again and again, he has berated, castigated, and blamed Zelensky. It is a moral inversion of decency and of everything that's right and good.
It's sickening, Ellis.
What I wonder is whether, Quinn argues that very eloquently, obviously. And I do think there are Republicans in Congress, probably more in the Senate, who share that perspective, who are very uncomfortable with this stuff. And from time to time, make comments making that clear. But there really has not been any genuine pushback, certainly no effective pushback. I wonder if we're getting closer to having that happen. It's always a mistake to expect Republican politicians who need to run for re-election to do anything that contradicts the views of President Trump. But man, hope springs eternal, and I sure would like some of them to do something effective on these issues.
I mean, not to go backwards, but you mentioned pushback, Ellis. A U.S. factory was bombed. I mean, a few days after Alaska, Putin and the Russian military, they know this Flex electronics factory is U.S. owned. They know that. It's not just, oh, we're just bombing random targets. May the missiles land where they land. They know what they're doing. So a few days after meeting Trump in Alaska, Putin has no problem bombing a U.S. factory in Ukraine. And I haven't heard any repercussions from that from either side. I don't know what's going on. It seemed like the United States, a U.S. factory gets bombed in this Ukraine war. We're going to not send troops in or go on the offensive and bomb something in Russia, but give Ukraine all the power to do that.
Look, it's like the proverbial, weakling at school who gets hit and then by the bully, and then looks at the bully and says, "Oh, please, can you do that again to me?" I mean, that's in essence what Trump does when he lets U.S. territory get bombed and doesn't even say anything.
No, he lets it get bombed, Ellis, and then he says, "Here, take my lunch money too, Vladimir."
So how do we pressure Republicans who really do have the power to say no to some of this stuff, to cut off funding, to demand that action be taken? Quinn, maybe you've got some ideas on this. What can we do to motivate that kind of behavior? I believe that the Republicans that I grew up with, I mean, the guys that, the Bob Livingstons of the world, and John McCain's, people who, even some of the people in there today from 10 years ago, Marco Rubio from just a couple of years ago, would have been very opposed to this stuff. But how do you spark that kind of action?
Well, I don't know. I mean, you've got a whole bunch of Republican senators in the House who, senators. What am I saying? Who are nominally behind a bill by Lindsey Graham of South Carolina to get really, really tough on Putin.
Yep, sanctions.
But they don't actually do anything. The bill has been introduced, but nobody will move it. They keep talking about it, but they don't do anything about it. I don't understand.
Ellis, I think dramatic sanctions coupled with giving Ukraine's already bombing inside of Russia, oil and gas refineries, rail links, all kind of stuff. Keep giving them the power to do that. Sanctions on Ukraine, on Russia. And then eventually, it's like with your boy in Syria, Assad, the people are going to get fed up and have enough and demand change. And Putin's going to take his billions and go flee to some foreign country and live in a big mansion and for the rest of his life. And then Russia, will change. I think that's the only way. I think Lindsey Graham was right about the heavy sanctions. And then I think you have to supply Ukraine with defensive and offensive weapons so they can attack deep inside of Russia and protect themselves.
No, that's the only recipe that will work. It's the only one that has worked. When the Ukrainians were making such gains against the Russian army, it was because they had the backing of European and American weapons and intelligence and technical support. Listen, it's not going to work to give Putin another 60 days to think about whether he wants a ceasefire. You just got to beat the guy. And until you do, you're not going to get anything out of him, I don't think.
No, and no ceasefire, no peace agreement, no nothing, none of this.
Look,
none of
there's
this.
a whole list of things that can be done. You're asking what Republicans, how to get Republican senators to actually do something. I don't know, because they don't seem to respond to anything but Trump. But what should we actually do against Putin? There's lots of stuff. Number one, we should seize Russian assets still held in the West. Just seize them and then use the money or sell off the assets to help finance Ukraine's defensive war effort. That's number one. Number two, yes, you do a lot more sanctions on Russia itself. Number three, with the weapons you do provide Ukraine, you take off the restrictions that say, here are the weapons, but you can only use them defensively. You can't fire them into Russian territory, not even to knock down the factories that are making the weapons Russia is using against Ukraine.
Yep.
I mean, you can go on and on. There are about 6 or 7 different things you can use.
Yeah, hold that thought. We're going to take a quick break. Coming right back. More with Hillier and Hennigan.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet, Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Does Helm Paint have the best paint on the planet? Helm, yeah. We only sell Benjamin Moore, the world's finest paint. Because paint ain't paint. Let us steer you right. Helm Paint.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen. Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live, we live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We do in all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience. Right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
South Shore residents that love good food are making the short trip across the lake to Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. North Shore folks have known about Gallagher's 527 for years. Now the South Shore has discovered this hidden gem. One of the metro area's best restaurants is less than 30 minutes away. Take the quick trip across the lake and experience Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. As good as it gets.
Not a politician or part of a political machine. Corey Johnson.
I propose that I use what's left of the town treasury to move to a more prosperous town and run for mayor.
In Metro New Orleans on 93.9 FM and 107.9 FM.
Hey, if you need air conditioning help in New Orleans or Baton Rouge, think Total Maintenance. That's Fair and Honest Lucas and the boys, air conditioning experts that come immediately. If your AC's not working right, making a funny noise, or worse, not working at all, don't stress out. Get that problem solved quickly. Weekday, weekend, overnight, holiday, Total Maintenance is there. If you need air conditioning help in New Orleans or Baton Rouge, think Total Maintenance. TM-AC.com. Total Maintenance. TM-AC.com. It's another edition of Hillier and Hennigan. Right-leaning Quinn Hillier's with us. Left-leaning Ellis Hennigan's with us. A slew of topics Let's get on them. Hey, guys, locally, it's been a while. I guess about 6 weeks since we last had you on. Mayor LaToya Cantrell indicted. Her arraignment is a week from Wednesday. Ellis, it's like a catch-22. You're in New Orleans, you're in Louisiana. You want the crooked politicians indicted. You want the crooked, ineffective politicians, justice to be served. But the catch-22 nationally, folks aren't going, oh, wow, New Orleans is getting their you-know-what together. They're going, New Orleans and that political reputation that's terrible, it lives on.
Well, yes, that's true. But listen, if mayors are engaged in corrupt behavior, I think you got to prosecute it. Let's see what happens in the case. It's not the allegations against her, I would say, are not the most horrific things one could imagine. Certainly in the annals of Louisiana corruption, to me, the bigger sin isn't what she did with her bodyguard. It's that she seems to have given up as mayor.
Yeah.
Just really is just given up. I mean, just doesn't seem to be trying, doesn't seem to care, just seems mad all the time. We needed an energetic, focused, results-oriented mayor, and she's just stopped being that. To me, that's the real crime.
Hey, Quinn, before I get to you, hey, Ellis, why do you think Trump let Eric Adams off the hook? Because he seemed to be, that didn't seem to be any politically motivated indictment. I mean, it was Democrats indicted him.
No, it was exactly. I mean, I think that he was very eager to have Adams be more supportive of his immigration crackdowns in New York City, used those criminal charges as a threat, a club over the head of Mayor Adams. But by the way, anyone who lives in New Orleans area can certainly understand Adams. He's not going to win for re-election. He has, very much seems to have, he's still in office. But let me tell you, he's not doing a lot of mayoring these days.
Quinn?
Well, I'm not going to get into Eric Adams and Trump here, but on Cantrell, the problem is you get her in her last 6 months and she's already sort of checked out.
Yep.
Who's in charge? I mean, Lord forbid, if there's a hurricane that hits New Orleans and you've got a mayor that already was checking out and is now indicted and is just not paying any attention because of the indictment, in addition to, sort of having checked out anyway, we're in big trouble. And I did hear some people say, well, as long as the statute of limitations don't run out, why not just hold the indictment until 2 days after she gets out of office? Because all this means is that she's going to spend all her time fighting her criminal charges, and will be even less able to pay attention. I don't know if that's the right way to go, but what I do know is this is not a good 6 months coming up for New Orleans until she leaves office.
No, she's fully checked out. The arraignment a week from Wednesday. I mean, Quinn, I like justice. I want fairness. I want citizens treated with respect. I call her Junket Cantrell for years because of these trips. The indictment's about Vappy. 14 trips are mentioned, $70,000 plus. Wouldn't it be sinful if she's still allowed to travel? I mean, usually an indictment, you're restricted to the Eastern District of Louisiana. Make sure that's the case. And if there's some travel that she feels is imperative, as mayor of New Orleans, then she can apply to the court for that specific trip. And if it's legit, they'll grant it. If not, she stays. But I think she needs to be grounded.
Well, the council has tried to ground her. I absolutely do not understand the court ruling that said the council was wrong and that she can keep on doing this and that the council has no recourse. The court ruled that. It makes no sense. It makes no sense by the theory of Republican government. The city council controls the purse. So I think the court is wrong. But meanwhile, as long as the court has ruled that, she's going to go keep on traveling because they say she has carte blanche.
Ellis, I was saying a few weeks ago when the arraignment date was mentioned, it's like 3 weeks, 22 days away at that time. I was like, she'll take a junket before the arraignment.
It's certainly possible. Listen. While it's tempting to continue to pile on LaToya, I mean, we really ought to be looking to the future. I think citizens of New Orleans have an opportunity to pick a new mayor. It's a hugely important choice. I'm not here to endorse anybody, but I do think that reflecting about the kind of leadership we want in the next generation, both in terms of honesty, in terms of competence. Just as an outsider following this stuff, and you guys may disagree with this, I got to tell you, I'm keeping an eye on Royce Duplessis. I see Moreno is likely to, is currently the leading candidate at this point up in the polls. I don't know whether she's going to get the 50% threshold needed to win in the first primary. But if she doesn't, I think she may have a race on her hands. That the other votes consolidating between Oliver Thomas and Duplessis are going to add up to something like that. And I don't know what you guys think about him, but I've been listening to him lately, and I got to tell you, he seems kind of impressive to me.
No, I think people are impressed, Quinn. The thing that Helena's got going, she's at like 47%. I don't know if she wins in a primary or not. I'd say it's about a 50-50 chance. I just don't know if Royce Duplessis, even with consolidation, getting Thomas's votes and all that, Helena Moreno just needs a little to get over the top. Royce Duplessis requires a lot to get over the top.
Well, he does. And it does seem like he has moved into a comfortable second over Oliver Thomas. Look, this indictment of Cantrell actually really hurts Oliver Thomas, too, because it raises his own history of not just being indicted, but being convicted and going to prison. And yeah, he's come out of it and he said he's turned over a new leaf and all that. But citizens look at it and I've heard this again and again. We just don't need that reputation of electing somebody who is a felon. And I think that is why he has been dead in the water, even if he's doing a good job as a city councilman. It's the reputational thing that has hurt him and that has let Duplessis skip by him.
Hey, Quinn, I don't even know if this is relevant, me saying this, but I'm a Catholic. I'm a Christian. I believe in Jesus. I like the 10 commandments, especially like 4 through 10. I just don't think they should be on any public classroom wall. It's all or none. If you want to put the 10 commandments, I guess the 7 tenets of Buddhism, some Quran stuff. A Texas judge blocks Texas from posting those 10 commandments. The AG in Texas, I think's playing politics, knows this is a loser, but can't lose. You fought for the 10 commandments. If they stick, you're a winner. You fought for the 10 commandments. They're ruled unconstitutional, which they are. You're still a winner because you tried.
Oh, geez. Look, I actually do believe that that in certain circumstances, in certain ways, there is nothing unconstitutional about posting the 10 commandments on a classroom wall. The way that Texas went about it clearly runs afoul of court precedent. And, you can quibble with the margins of court precedent, but the court has spoken. The Supreme Court has spoken long ago on this. And Texas is not making the subtle arguments that it would need to make in order to allow this to happen, much less to mandate it in every classroom. And, whatever you think of the court precedent, the Supreme Court is the last word unless and until Congress takes it out of the court's jurisdiction, which Congress has not done. So, yes, Texas is right now definitely in the wrong.
Ellis?
And they're doing it for the wrong reasons, right? I mean, at the same time we saw this battle, what was it, a year ago in Louisiana, very, very similar kind of a debate. I mean, it's not being done, Quinn, to broaden the minds of people about our historical precedents. And, and yes, Corey, some of the other faiths all have their own lists of rules and regs. I mean, it's being done as an act of kind of, frankly, all but imposing this religion, saying this is the one that matters, this is the real one. And the state has no business doing that in a public school classroom.
Hey, speaking of, Quinn, what do you think about Trump executive order banning flag burning, and then this just arbitrary mandatory one year in jail? He even said not a month, not 10 years, 1 year. I feel the same way with the 10 Commandments. I don't want to burn a flag. I like the American flag. I'll probably never burn a flag, but it seems like the ultimate form of protest and the ultimate test of the, First Amendment, freedom of speech. I don't like David Dork and what he stands for, but I fight for that idiot to talk about racist crap and KKK garbage because that's America. What do you think about Trump and the executive order banning flag burning?
Well, I'm 100% against flag burning. I could even consider although you'd have to really think about it, but consider a constitutional amendment outlawing it, except in a ceremonial way. But that's the point. It would take a constitutional amendment because right now the Constitution protects speech and expression of just that kind. And no president, period, end of question, no president can, by executive order, violate the First Amendment like that and dictate a law against flag burning, much less a penalty for it.
Hang on, guys. Ellis, I'm going to get your take on the other side of this quick break. Yeah, I think the guy got arrested. It was because he lit a fire at a national park, not because he burned the flag the other day. Coming right back.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City.
For over 20 years, serving healthy, fresh, authentic Middle Eastern cuisine, Lebanon's Cafe. In the Carrollton section of Uptown on the streetcar line, Wednesday through Monday, 11 a.m. to 9:30. Lebanon's Cafe.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again, ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters' 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now. Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
Word is, one of the best restaurants in New Orleans isn't even in New Orleans. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. Cross the lake and taste what you're missing. Tuesday through Saturday, Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville.
Total Maintenance Geeks. TM-JC.com, your cool spots. TM-JC.com, your cool spots.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
What's your name? Putting in things.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson.
Women are often throwing clothing items at me, saying you're the possessor of the cool factor. I have to fight off the ladies.
90 minutes of fun every weekday afternoon on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333 from 4 p.m. to 5:30.
Mario Brothers, I think that was AI produced. Cool factor. I've never said cool factor in my life. I think someone's using AI making promos around here. It's another edition of Hillier and Hennigan, right-leaning Quinn Hillier, left-leaning Ellis Hennigan. Hey, we went into a break. Anybody wanted to say something before we move on?
Just keep it moving, Corey. I like this fast-paced thing you're doing.
All right, man. Yeah, rapid fire rules. I like it as well. All right, let's go to the next big topic. Let's see what's on my list. Ray Nagin reemerges, Quinn. First off, he's at a church, which I think's a bad thing to be bringing up these subjects, because I don't know about you. When I'm at church, I'm very kind. I'm about, forgiveness and, treating people equally. And I have a kind heart and I'm very open. This guy comes in there, Nagin, and just comes up with some absolutely crazy stuff. First proclaims his innocence, says race was a big factor in the indictment, says race is a factor in Junket Cantrell's indictment. And then this is the worst part. Quote, the negative press in cahoots with the federal prosecutors. They manufactured charges against me and they brought them to fruition. I just think, pun intended, it's kind of sinful to be bringing that up in front of a very receptive audience at a church. You bring up that political stuff, bring it up in an environment, that is more applicable. But then, Quinn, you'd have the problem of everybody going, innocent, no. Race, no. Cantrell race, no. The press in cahoots with the feds, no. Manipulating charges, manufacturing them, no. It was just sort of disheartening. Nagin reemerges with that garbage.
I agree with everything you just said. There's no need to add any more.
I mean, Ellis, Aaron Broussard, I respect. He's like, yeah, I made some mistakes when I was president of Jefferson Parish. I paid for them and I'm moving on. Nagin's like a 60-something-year-old man in denial about this, or just choosing to, say all this nonsense. But I'm not a big fan of it.
Go away. Just go away. By the way, there was a jury involved in some of that, wasn't there?
Yeah, exactly. Hey, Ellis, I think Gavin Newsom is playing this Trump game as well as any human being can. I don't know how to wrap my brain around to play the Trump game, to do like the equal and opposite. Gavin Newsom seems to know exactly what to do. Trump is agitated. I'm watching like Newsmax, Fox. It's like their lead story night after night, this Gavin Newsom stuff. Gavin Newsom's playing the Trump game, isn't he?
Yeah, and listen, again, I'm not ready to pick a candidate yet, but there are a couple of things I like about what he's doing. The biggest one is that he's not scared to walk into opposing territory. Corey, as you know, I spend a fair amount of my life appearing in front of audiences that don't necessarily agree with me.
Yep.
And I think that's so important in this society where we all live in these silos, these bubbles, these echo chambers where we only talk to people who already agree with us. And you got to say, Gavin, going on, with Sean Hannity, with a whole bunch of other Newsmax you mentioned, Steve Bannon, the podcast. We ought to do that. It shows self-confidence. It reflects well on you. And it's also fun. It's just fun to watch people spar in that kind of a way.
Hey, Quinn, Michelle Obama's like, when they go low, we go high. Gavin Newsom's like, no, I'm going exactly where Trump is.
I'm not paying any attention to what Gavin Newsom's doing. I think he's been a god-awful governor, and I don't care what he does on social media or regular media, because he's led California down a rat hole. So I'd like to move on.
All right. I'll move on with this with you, Quinn. John Bolton house raid.
Sickening. I will go. I am tempted to fly up there and stand in front of his house in front of federal agents if they try to come again. What this is authoritarianism run amok. It's punishing political enemies for doing absolutely nothing wrong. John Bolton is, unless they come up with something that nobody can even imagine in these circumstances, then John Bolton is absolutely innocent. And the way that they have gone about this should scare every American. What it's saying is, if you oppose us politically, we're going to go manufacture evidence against you, and you're going down. And we, as Americans, should not abide that.
Ellis?
Yes, and it's you've got to have some principles, right, that go beyond your own political self-interest. You've got to believe that not only your supporters and backers have a right to free speech, but your opponents do. I mean, that is truly the American system. I couldn't help but notice that in the hours after the Bolton raid, the president threatening similar action against my co-author Chris Christie. For the same reason. I mean, basically because the guy's been saying some stuff he doesn't like lately, so. Now we got to dredge up criminal charges. It's fundamentally undermining of everything we stand for in this country.
Speaking of undermining, I just don't get it. America's a trip. It's so politically polarizing. Cracker Barrel, which has been struggling financially, they were trying to freshen things up. They come up with a new logo, and all of a sudden it's woke. It's got a political connection. And a lot of people freaked out, and Cracker Barrel went back to the I'm making a joke, the white cracker guy in the barrel as the logo. Anyway, I'm joking, but amazing to me, the political environment where Cracker Barrel is,
Look,
in the middle of it.
I think it was a stupid rebranding. There was nothing woke about it. It was just a dumb rebranding. What are the critics going to do? Demand that Alka-Seltzer bring back Speedy?
I like Little Speedy. That's funny. Ellis?
Well, I'm not going to go to Cracker Barrel any less than I go now. I want to be clear about that.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I've never been to a Cracker Barrel. I live in New Orleans.
Pretty good. I like Cracker Barrel.
I'm willing to check it out. Mario Brothers is not in this head. He's like, yeah, I like Cracker Barrel.
Chicken fried steak, good over there.
Oh boy. Hey, Ellis, always a pleasure, man.
Good being with you guys, always.
You can check Ellis out at Henneken.com. Quinn, always a pleasure, brother.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for having me on.
QuinnHillier.com. Quinn with one N. Hillier spelled Hillyer. Yeah, another edition of Henneken and Hillier. Just in time. There's Blue Boy. What up, buddy? You learn something every time Ellis Henneken and Quinn Hillier come on the show. Me too. I learn something every time. Very insightful. Even though they're diametrically opposed, they never raise their voice. Very reasonable, rational, common sense. You're right. It's a good segment. I'll get them on again. See you tomorrow, Fantasy Friday, straight up 4 o'clock. Be right here, mañana.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 6 p.m.